Hey guys, and welcome to another Draw With Me video. Today we'll be drawing Umbreon with a little witch hat, kind of a witch themed. So here I start with my simple shapes. It looks kind of funky when I do start. I use a lot of liquefying in the beginning to try to get the shapes correct. But even though it looks kind of weird at first, it does eventually take its shape. A lot of times when I draw, the shapes look kind of funky and they get more of what I want it to look like over time. So shape language is the most important, in my opinion, the most important before anything else that comes first, including color. So here I'm just trying to get the face and the body correct, the way I want it to look. Eventually I just start drawing in other elements like this little potion pot, and I go in to draw the little hat on top. I kind of struggled a little bit with the hat because I wanted to do that hat that I had done in my mood board, the one with a lot of flowers, and it looked kind of rustic looking. So I kind of wanted to create something that was very similar to that. The circles gave me a little bit of a challenge too because I wanted them to look good. So I used the tool. Also wanted to note, I haven't used Clip Studio Paint in probably months. I typically use Procreate now. I've gotten used to Procreate, and so Clip Studio was one that I do love and I do love to use, and I do recommend it as a program. However, because it's not as mobile as Procreate, well, it is mobile. You can use it on your device, but I feel like Procreate is just so much simpler to take on the go, whereas this one is a little bit more of a complicated program, and yes, you can use it on the go. However, I prefer using Procreate. When I have a stationary computer, I much prefer to use Clip Studio. I think it's easier in some ways, but I also think both programs have their things that are good, and I think each program has things that can improve. Also, using my Huion tablets or my Huion monitors makes it, I think, the drawing experience a little bit better than the iPad. The iPad is great, but I think that the monitors make the experience a little bit easier. So here I start doing line art. I'm really big on the line art, so when I first start my sketch, I just start sketching lines of kind of what I want it to look like and getting the shapes down. Once I start doing the line art portion, that's when I really focus and hone in on what I exactly want it to look like. So in this portion, I am focusing on exactly my lines, what I want the actual image to look like. And this is actually probably my favorite portion of drawing because it really makes your picture pop. You start seeing the picture as it's gonna be, and I just absolutely love this. Even more so than coloring. I don't really care as much for coloring because it takes so much time, in my opinion. So here I'm just blocking out colors, what they're going to look like. I start out before I do any shading, just put a basic block color for each particular item. So basically I just fill in the little areas, and I'll go in another layer and start coloring behind it if I fill it in. This you don't have to do it this way. To me, this was in this particular painting, it was a little bit easier just to go in and directly fill in the lines. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll duplicate it and fill it in, or I'll color behind it. But in this case, I just filled it in directly and then I colored behind it. Here I start adding in the magical shading, and so then I start shading in this portion. I wanted to make Umbreon's little circles and lines glow, so I started to add a glow to his hair. Much like in the show, the glow, he is able to do flash, and Gary's little Umbreon does flash, and it makes his little circles glow, and that's kind of what I wanted with my magical Umbreon. I did also add a little skull. I thought it was kind of cute. I was trying to think of other elements. I didn't really want a spell book, like I said in the previous video. I wanted a little potion, maybe a little moth, and then I had also this skull, which I thought was kind of cute, so I kind of kept it. Here I add some of the lighting so that you can see Umbreon's face a little bit better. I felt like Umbreon was a little bit dark in the face and body, so I added some lighting so you can see the outline of Umbreon's face, and also some lighting to the hat, and this was just some of the shading. I really loved how this painting turned out. At first I dreaded it a little bit because I did want to make it, but then I was like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know. And as I was painting it at first, I was kind of concerned that because Umbreon is so dark, I was kind of concerned that I wouldn't be able to make the image pop, but I was actually very happy with how it turned out. I actually learned some things with the shading that helped me improve, and I feel like I can use this in the future for future paintings. Art is always a learning process, especially for me, because I'm constantly learning new techniques. Here I added a little bit of sparkle to it. I love that. It's always a learning process. I also made the potion glow. I absolutely loved that. I did the ad, and with the ad, which is a feature that you can do to your layer, you can really make it pop and glow. That was why the potion looks the way it does. Also, I added a little bit of purple to the eyes of the skull. I thought that was really cute too. To even add even more glow to the circles with Umbreon, I added a little bit of glow and white to make it really look like Umbreon was like glowing. Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video today. I hope to actually finish all of the Eevee evolutions. I've done Eevee, and now I've completed Umbreon, and I really hope that I'm probably going to start either Leafeon or Vaporeon. I'm not entirely sure, but as you saw in the previous video, you're going to see the mood board. Here's the mood board, and here is the completed Umbreon picture that I completed. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and keep creating.